Welcome, Aftermarket Pros, to For the Record. Now, listen to a slice of wisdom, a concept, a sentiment, and maybe even a rant from one of your industry colleagues. For the Record.
Hey, how are you? Carm Capriato here, and in just a minute, Maylan Newton sits behind the mic and rants about quoting a price over the phone. A discussion topic that runs strong for many shop owners on both sides of the strategy. Have you been thinking about integrating digital vehicle inspections in your shop? Have you been delaying your decision? Well, look, implementing change can be a huge challenge, but it doesn't have to be painful. FlexCheck Auto DVI software is designed to conform to your shop's philosophy, and it's not only fully customizable to your shop's needs, but it's easy to use. FlexCheck Auto guides the technician through the inspection process one step at a time, and with the ability to take and send pictures and videos. You know one thing, your customer sees any vehicle issues with their own eyes, and it's important to them, including them in the repair process and boosting confidence in your shop. You've got a consistent process, which in turn leads to a higher average repair order and increased customer satisfaction. Now, wouldn't you want that? Hey, start your 30-day free trial today. FlexCheckAuto.com. Tell them Carm sent you. Hey, find the talking points for this For the Record Opine with Maylan Newton at remarkableresults.biz/F091. Now, the views and opinions expressed are those of my guest and do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of the author, sponsors, associates, or affiliates of LSTN Media, LLC. Hey, Maylan has a strong conviction of quoting a price over the phone, and if customers wanted a cheap price, he says, there would not be all the top shops out there that are not dealing with price first, and he questions if you really want the customer who wants the lowest price. Hey, we've had a great run with the For the Record podcast, and we've been at it for 91 consecutive weeks. And For the Record is going on hiatus. Now, that means into semi-retirement. And hey, you never know. It may make a comeback sooner than you think sometime down the road. Hey, I thank you for listening and enjoying the unprecedented format where aftermarket professionals got to sound off on one of their passionate topics. From the start with episode 1, Jerry Trulia hitting labor rates hard, to this episode with Maylan Newton. The For the Record episodes will continue to live on in your listening app and on the website for you to enjoy again. Now, the Remarkable Results Radio and the Town Hall Academy podcasts, along with Carmcasts, will continue their strong presence as the premier aftermarket podcast. Now, you can count on these podcasts as important sources of aftermarket business acumen, and look for new and innovative podcasts coming from the Aftermarket Radio Network.
Hello, Maylan Newton from Educational Seminars Institute. For the Record, my rant today is about something I've talked about many, many times, and I talk about it all the time in classes, is that we need to get away from the price-driven model of business and get back to the quality and relationship-driven business. I'm telling you, let's make life easy for all automotive repair shops out there, and let's stop quoting price over the phone and advertising price. Our lives would be so much easier if we could get away from those two things. And if you're going to quote a price, make it the last thing you quote them instead of the first thing you quote them. We have created this problem in the automotive industry where we, the industry, think this is strictly about price, and it's not. The people listening to this Remarkable Results Radio podcast and to Carm are not going to be the lowest price repair shops in the area, but I guarantee you they're some of the busiest. So that kind of shatters the idea that I have to be cheap to be busy. You have to build a quality product. You have to give quality service. You got to take good care of your customers, and you have to build a relationship. Price falls drastically. Price in most cases is 6th or 7th on most customers' list. But every single day we throw out how much is to anybody who asks it. We don't know what's wrong with the car. We don't know who's tried to fix the car before it came to us. What we need to do is treat everybody the same. Get the car in the shop, inspect it, and then tell them exactly what it needs and exactly how much it's going to cost and a time frame to repair it. Because anytime you quote a price over the phone, you're just setting it up to be a more difficult repair process and sale. I think everybody listening to this has done this. Well, that should be about worst case, this much money. They bring it in, and it's $200 or $300 higher than that worst case scenario. And you call the customer up, and the first thing they ask you is, what happened to the price you quoted me? You just made it harder. Instead, don't quote them a price. Call them and give them one price. Ask them to repair the car. You might be surprised how much easier it is to do that. Now, I get quoting a price over the phone is easy. Anybody can do that. But if you're a Dragon Slayer service writer, you need to have skills to not quote a price over the phone and still get the car into the shop. And that should be our ultimate goal. No prices quoted on the phone, no prices advertised, except for some basic service items. But reality is, in today's complex, sophisticated automobiles, there's nothing simple anymore. An F-150 in today's world has more lines of code than a 787 Dreamliner. And we're just quoting price over the phone for stuff. How many different kinds of oils, lubricants? How many different quality levels of parts are there? We need to start making this about our service and not about a price. We are doing ourselves damage by making everything about price. I call it we're cannibalizing our own industry because everybody's going to lower the price. I don't care what price you quote. Somebody will do it cheaper because they don't see the value in what they do or the value in the training they've received, or they just think cheap's the way to do it. Inexpensive repair, high quality repair for a fair price with a great warranty will bring you more customers than a cheap price is. And let's be perfectly honest with most of you. Do you want the guy who wants the lowest price? Is he the kind of customer you're looking for? Do they care about your training and certifications and the equipment you've purchased? No, they just care about the $5 bill they're going to hand you when it should be a $50 bill. It's interesting with these things going on in the world, with the virus that's going out, and people being in quarantine. I talked to a client yesterday, and the first thing he did was lower his pricing because he wasn't busy. And after a day of lowering his pricing, I said, did you get more cars? And he thought about it for a second. He goes, no, not really. I said, so do you think pricing was the reason people weren't coming in? Or do you think it's the fear of being out and about in these troubled times? Why don't you take your effort and reassure your customers that you're taking good care of their cars and them, the sanitization that you're doing to the car, of no contact pickups, drop-offs, and deliveries, instead of lowering your price. Because let's face it, it's not about the price. Because if it was, there would not be any quality shops out there, any quality tools, any quality parts, because we'd all be about price. And we need to stop doing that. This is a huge pet peeve of mine, because the first thing most repair shops want to do is lower their price. And in my opinion, they should really be raising their price. Getting paid for the knowledge, the equipment, and the investment you've made in this industry. Not for turning the nut and bolt. Anybody can do that. But turning the right nut and bolt takes skills. And you can't get that skill from Amazon, and you can't get that skill from YouTube, no matter what anybody says. We cannibalize ourselves because we allow other people to dictate our skill level. Have you hired a plumber recently, an electrician, a roofer? They understand the value of their skill sets, and we gladly pay them because they do things we won't do or can't do. And it's the same for auto repair. We need to show the value in what we do, and we need to be proud. And we need to attract good people in our industry, which means we got to be able to pay them, which means we need to charge the correct amount of money. It's really simple. To stay in business, you have to make money. And I see it day in and day out where hundreds and hundreds of repair shops are not paying themselves and aren't paying their bills because they don't see the value in what they do. So I've ranted enough. Just pay attention to what you're charging, charge the correct amount of money, and remember, It's not about the price. It's about the finished product. Thank you, Carm. Thank you all for listening. I look forward to talking to you soon. This is Maylan Newton with Educational Seminars Institute, for the record.